All right. Does this work? Yep, it does. All right. Hope you guys come over. Well, that was silly. All right. Let's start over. I'm going to look at some of the improvements for the letter tool. And for that, I'm kind of just taking a closer look of exactly how I'm handling letters in the app and see if I can clean anything up to make things more smooth. I started the stream by mistake. Pointed at the wrong monitor, so I'm just gonna remove that because that might cause problems down the line. So it's probably better to just pretend that doesn't ever happened. Let's see. I'm just gonna see if I can unlist the video for that stream. Where was it? So that was live now. That was this one. And I'm just gonna make it unlisted. All right. So if people stumble across it, they can still find this stream. Yeah, let's try this again. And we can we can all look at the same thing. And I'm actually gonna make it bigger, so it all makes sense for the viewers out there. Here we go. I think I can make this bigger too. And I can make this a bit bigger too. All right. So, I'm just gonna have a quick hack in to see if I can put the feature in, which should be relatively trivial. So yeah, right now WASD and all this sort of thing goes here, but I can do if this.letter mode and blah blah blah. So let's try it quickly with, I don't know. So right now control is for tool change, so we probably don't want to interfere with that. So Alt might work, except Alt is also used for selection extension with WASD, but you can use the cursor key. So that's potentially something I can fix. Now, what it doesn't take into consideration is the idea of having other digits, other letters selectable for the letter tool. Yeah, but for now, let's just hack it in there and see how that works. And I think I can just skip all of this. Yes, so I can say if we're in letter mode, if this dot letter mode, and we want, what do we want to use? We want to use Alt and the letter. I mean, Alt. I can capture Alt. I guess I don't have to worry about mobile for now, because on mobile you generally don't have a keyboard available. So I could say Shift. Because then you could still do this with Alt, right? The problem is, yeah, I'm doing my own management of the keys, but in theory, the event itself also has that information attached to it. Now, we're going into territory where it's maybe not cross-browser, and maybe not cross-platform, and maybe not available on Mac. 3729. But we can always look into that. So we have CTRL key, we have Shift key, we have key code. So we probably want to look at a couple more things here. So we have event type, we have Yeah, let's make these separate. We might actually base these on the event parts, right? So event.ctrl key. So let's express it this way. Right, so we have ctrl key, we have meta key, we have alt key, and with alt ctrl we do not, and we do have shift. We do have shift. So we'll call that shift. Shift. It's HFT. And is there another one? Shift key, meta key. All right, and then we also have some other stuff, such as, and we'll just do something like e dot char code we have e dot code interface key code char code key code, and I think which. I'm just going to stuff them all into this line. Let's see. So we probably want to do these two. These should always match. If they don't match, that's when we're interested. So if control press is not equal to event.ctrl key, console.error control pressed mismatch. So control pressed event.control key and event. And we want to do the same thing for shift pressed, just to see if there's a difference between these. So the reason I put this in, I think there was a problem. Like, the problem is it's probably just on Mac or Safari or some weird whatever. And then I'll shorten these. Shorten these. Just so we have a quick overview of these without wasting too much space. You know what? I can actually shorten these even further. What if I just do this and stop mucking about? And then just do this. Okay. Double cursors. I hate those. And do those ever make sense? Yeah, we also don't need this. All right. So CSAM. Then we have event key, event code, Control Shift, and then these, they can just be joined like this. That's now much shorter. Control Alt Shift. This does not work properly. I think I need to scope these a little better. So Control Shift Alt S, and the meta key I believe is the Windows key. Yeah, and then it does something. Ah, and that messes up the shift. Okay, interesting. All right. So we are looking for letter mode and event.shift key. And now we're looking for, so A, B, A, B, C, A, B, C, key, A, B, C, and shift, A, B, C, A, B, C. Yeah, so I want to look at this part. So that's the event.code. Event.code. Code.match. Match key A through. Well, I guess we might as well just hard code it for now. A through J. And I think which is 66, right? Don't need these. Char code, key code, and which. Char code, key code. Seriously? Seriously? So, Shift A, for example. Shift A. And Shift. Do letter. No do letter. So letter mode should be on. Do letter. Yeah, we're gonna put this as well. Add letter mode state to persist letter mode state. So we want that to be on after a refresh. Right now the setting itself is, but the toggle here is not persisted. So we definitely want to persist that. So, Shift A, do letter key A, okay. Do letter key A, and if I do, so, get this. And char code 0, key code 65. And then if I do, because it'll always be shift now, because it's basically capital letters, right? But that's fine. But if it's A without the capital, key code A, which 65, which 65. Because this changes, right? And the key code doesn't change. So that's a little interesting. I'm gonna make this a little smaller so I can get them on one line, to be honest. It's gonna be a lot better. If I do this, RE key. Right, and if we do it full on like this, and we can do RE key dot test. And if I do I think this is a string, right? So I should be able to just do this. Right? And then we have event.keycode, event.key, and char code at 0. What does that give us? So if I do Shift A, for example, and if I do just A, so the char code is different of a lowercase a. So key code is always the same. Interesting. So key code does not match the char code of the key being pressed. Let me just have a quick look at that, because that seems a little prone to problems. Browse my source board, it may have already been removed from the RAM. You dropped or may only be kept, blah blah blah. By current keep code event. Read only proper represent system implementation depending on numeric code and find. Oh, okay. Should be good sometimes. Instead, you should use key code. Okay, so we don't want to really use key code. Code also draw a keyboard and A on the keyboard. This makes it impossible to use the valve code to determine what the name of the key is to users. Using anticipate keyboard layout. Characters not key. Event use the keyboard.key property. Okay. So the code here is 65. No, wait. The code is yes, the code is 65. The key is the letter A. So of course, I'm immediately gonna go into problems with alternate layouts, right? So can I change this layout? No. Can I change this key layout? On screen keyboard layout. But you know what? Virtual keyboard layout. There must be a way for me to run a second virtual keyboard with a different layout than my actual keyboard. So for testing, right? It must be something developers generally use for this kind of testing. I haven't done a lot of that, to be honest. Layouts, closing. Change how info is entered into the click sound option. Okay, it's speaking of options a lot. It doesn't say where these options are. Where are these options? Why is Unity running? All right, I have a feeling I shouldn't be doing this on screen for some reason. Keyboard. On screen. Keyboard. On-screen keyboard. Ease of access keyboard. Turn on the toggle on use on-screen keyboard. Remain on the screen until you close it. Click sound. Show keys. On-screen keyboard opens. Select the options key and choose the options you want. Select the options key. Is this the options key? Ah, no. This is the options key. It literally says options. Okay. Interesting. No. All right. Okay. No. All right. So I don't have a direct way of changing that here. So enter something correctly to ensure. Oh, okay. No, that's virtual keyboard for testing. No. Windows on screen. I feel like I'm rabbit holing. Yeah, what I really need is I need a way of having like a German keyboard on screen without, like I think this changes to the layout that my keyboard is, which is not useful to me. for multiple different layouts. Decimal. At the same time, I don't. Yes. Once we do it for multiple selected, no. Use multiple keyboards with different keyboard layouts in Windows. Second. To check. Multiple Windows. This is what you need. Code projects in. I could literally plug in a second keyboard, actually. I have another wired keyboard I could use. Same machine. Use keyboard. Wired keyboard is a program that allows you to use transmitter switch input languages based on the keyboard you're typing on. Does that? The question is, does that work with the virtual keyboard? Can I just download this? Can I not just download? Oh, geez, seriously. Seriously. The worst thing is when you already have a password and you have no clue what it would be. God knows. Why does it give me Google login and then still requires a password from me? You know what? I can just use a different Google account. It doesn't have an account with them yet. Ah, there you go. Alright, can I just want to download this file. Can I? No? The file. The file. The file. Give me a file. Let's hope this is not going to be a disaster. Okay. And how is this supposed to work? System keyboard lines, depending on which keyboard you use, type that has a couple of restrictions. First key type when you switch keyboard may be wrong, for example. Global layout. There's a report that comes and download that link not working through. Okay. Hardware drawer keyboards available. Some hardwired. No. Win plus space. Okay, that's not a good sign. Key layout. Can I guess I have to well, my Y's and Z's are switched now. Oh, come on, seriously. That's not what I wanted. Are you... This works. Yeah, but on my keyboard, that's... I'm pressing the Z on my keyboard right now. Oh. Oh, wow, this actually works. Oh, okay, because I have it. All right, I'm an idiot. There we go. Win the space. Works. I don't even need that. So, if I now press Z, I get 1, 2, 1. I press Z now, I get 1, 2, 2. So it gives me key Z always, but here gives me 1, 2, 1, and here gives me 1, 2, 2. So for our purposes, we want to look at the code, not at this. Because we want people to be able to use the letter that they're used to. All right. So we basically need to look at the first number. So that's event.key. All right. Wait, no, I'm an idiot. We're looking at this and getting the charcoal here. And I'm not supposed to look at key code. So 1 second. So that's Z's right now. Nope. So Z. Shift Z, Z. So the second argument here is key code, but I'm supposed to be looking at event.key. All right, so the other thing we can obviously do is case it, right? So we can do this. Ugh, Amazon taking my money. Why is Amazon taking my money? Probably music or something. All right, so we can do this. Do lower case. And I guess that would be fairly secure. So I'm pressing Z, win space, I'm pressing Z. Now it's a Y, space, that's a Z, Y, A. So A is 97, so that's lowercase, obviously. And then basically all we need to do is map it, right? So let's get rid of these for a sec. This at the top. Get rid of this. And we basically want to, you know, we basically want to map the key number to the relevant digit equivalent. So A becomes 0, except in our case, we actually want to map them this way, which I believe the mapping is available in the letter tool. Letter tool, two letter dot to dot letter map. Okay. So letter to digit equals, we'll do this minus lowercase a. So we have that one. And then I guess we can do this. I think. So if I press A, A becomes a 0. Shoot. So that map is actually not in the right order for what we need. We need to reverse that. So we need to do index of part of me wants to convert this to a value from 0 to 26 first. Because now I can do digit to letter, right? And I can just do this plus this. Right, digit to letter. And then we can do this dot index of digit to letter dot to uppercase. Basically, right? I mean, it's a bit back to front. Digit index of digit to letter. Okay, it doesn't know what to do with that. A. So A becomes a 0, and it's actually a 97. But we actually want to compare, convert it to to uppercase. And we want to convert that string.from code string.from charcode kind of, and that should give us the uppercase equivalent of the 0 to 65 numbers. So A becomes that, Shift A also becomes that, B becomes whatever, and J becomes that, and Shift J becomes that. Okay. And now I can find that in our list. And if I can't find it, then I know what's what, right? And then J should be a 0. Shift J should still be a 0. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, and J. Then if I go over, we get -1 on the index. All right. And we can probably do we can probably short circuit that by kind of just going from event.key to uppercase dot charcode letter to digit. We don't even need to do that, right? We can basically just do this. We have our event letter. That's really what we want to use here, because that will filter out anything that's invalid. So if I put an H, wrong example, if I put in a comma, right, it's -1, but A is a 1 and J would be a 9 and Z isn't even in it. All right. Now I don't need to do this. All right. And then I can say event letter and then letter index. Boom. We'll do this. We'll get rid of these two. And we've got the first spammers showing up. Where's my stream? Oh no, I left the stream thing. I'm already live. I don't want to go live again. I want to handle my live stream. I want to get rid of the spammer. Come on, YouTube Studio, you can do it. Nope. Can I just switch to the stream? Yes. And we got a report. It's so sad that they can't handle that kind of spam. Like, they've done a pretty good job with email, but I really don't understand why this stuff gets through. And letter index is not equal -1. And right. And now nothing should happen until I enter the letter, well, shift, you know, and this still works. Enter the letter mode, now shift A, shift J, shift I, and that should still work. Okay. So basically in this case now we want to do the same thing as what would normally happen under the digit capture, which is here. Right, so basically we want to do this. And we want to pass through the letter index. App RE digit. It's actually interesting. What is app RE digit? Button. Okay. Well, we already know we're on the right, whatever. We've done all that up here. So I should be just do this. I don't know if it would work if I pass in letter index to press digit. I don't think it would work. If letter mode is true, this tool with letters, this tool. All right. So if letter mode is true, this tool with letters, digit. Ah, we might want to do that check as well. So if you're accidentally pressing, like if you're switching to color mode and you're pressing Shift A, I mean, Shift A. If I go here and I press Shift A, to be honest, the moment I press Shift, it does that. One of the problems I have with Shift switches, right? So I might have to stop that temporary behavior. The problem is by the time I'm getting here, that behavior has already happened because it happened when you press Shift. I think being in letter mode is probably explicit enough. Actually, I think what people really want is an implicit letter mode, where we're just hijacking those 10 letters and ZXV. I mean, these keys. Basically, if you still have to switch, you kind of have to switch to the mouse because the backslash is too far away, right? Unless I allow the other backslash, the one on the left side of the keyboard, at least on my keyboard layout, right? The backslash versus the forward slash. In fact, I see there's a bunch of mismatches here, right? So we have to be careful. I think that makes more sense to actually try to do a fully explicit, implicit letter mode, right? So where, like an auto letter mode, basically, where instead of switching first to letter mode, you detect if you're pressing a key. Okay. All right, so first of all, we don't need this one. Just switch that in here. Second of all, we'll do this, right? So we can do something like if two letter and we do this. Now it makes sense to, now we want to check that we're in a tool that does letters, right? So is tool with letters. Okay. If letter tool is tool with letters, this dot tool, then we'll do letter index. We don't check for letter mode. We don't check for shift key. We do check for letter index not being -1. And then we do all this. And then we just skip out. So now I broke stuff. If this is not included, will this code blow up? That's something. I want to be able to remove that file completely and have everything still work correctly. That is strangely important to me, even though it shouldn't be the case ever. Yeah. So if Yeah, so that works. And if I bring it back, we gotta do letter D. Which now puts in the thing. So we really want a temporary tool change to the letter tool. Can we do this here? I think we can. I think we can. I think we can. So we do this, we just force it through, and then afterwards we force it to whatever the current letter mode was. Actually 2 R's, then it's fine. It works fine. So now I can do a 1, but I can also do an A. I think that is kind of what people actually want, right? And then I can do Shift F and 2 and F and 2 without having to switch the letter mode. Now, it would be great if I could kind of flash the keypad, kind of like what happens when I do this, right? But I feel almost like for that to work, so C as a hotkey wouldn't work anymore, but V would still work. That's a bit confusing. Ugh. So I can switch to V, then I can press C, and then I press C again. Ugh, super confusing. It is an option. It is an option. What would I need to do to temporarily switch it? I can do it 2 ways. I can flash it to basically do it on a timer, which is dangerous because if somebody presses keys quickly, they might, like if I press A and 1, it might be too fast, right? Or I literally do key up and key down, because I think that hits key down, and then on key up. So if I go here, press A and then 2, without releasing A. That's a bit odd. The other thing is, if I could pass the correct thing into the do key press thing here, right? Maybe I don't need to do any of this. I can just letter map it directly. What if, instead of doing all of this, what if instead of doing this, I literally just pass the letter in? So if I do this, and now I press C, that works. Then I don't care. The only problem is then if I switch this, then obviously the 1 will produce an A. Okay, but I think this could be intuitively better. I'm just thinking, because I keep thinking it would be good to have a toggle. This could be the toggle. So instead of toggling between A and 1, it simply toggles the hotkeys, the hotkey behavior, basically. So in letter mode, 1 is still 1. And then A becomes A. And then in normal mode, it stays as what you're used to. Huh. That would basically mean I gotta get rid of all of this special handling here. Which is actually fine. In fact, this probably should be here anyways. This probably should not be in here. I think the reason it is in here is because of where else do press digit could be called. Such as when I press these. Do press digit 8. Do press digit 8. Now, what's coming through from here is, I think, attached to the button. So I actually have control over that. So if I do this, it comes from handle button, control match, do press digit, handle button. All right. Handle button. Control match. 0 through 9. Control match. Control. Handle button. What is control here? Oh, I see. So that piece of data I can change. So if we change what's in the data set here, so we're doing this. Tool enter handler, init done, enable, disable, toggle mode. Toggle mode. This is still on our app. Controls made toggle list app. Letter return, letter mode, app letter mode, blah blah blah. Handle toggle. So because for keyboard controls it's actually fine. In fact, maybe I don't need to worry about this at all. Yeah, I guess I don't have to worry about it because they're two different systems and they're kind of mutually exclusive. I can't do things on the keyboard that I can do, or on touch systems that I can do on the keyboard and vice versa. So actually, maybe I don't actually have to handle that at all. So first of all, we only do this if we have a tool with letters, right? Then we do check the letter mode. And the only reason we're checking letter mode is that we use that as a mode toggle, basically. No, yeah, okay, now I remember why I wanted to do it. I want to see if I can get rid of the code here. So that the buttons just send the correct data right away. Yeah, okay, I think that's actually worth doing. So let's do that first. So that will capture when we're toggling. Okay. It basically ignores what's coming in through here. All right. Then it does all this toggling. And it does this. Okay. Let's see what exactly it's doing here. And here is the thing that we're not changing. Right. Yeah. So I don't want to use the index because I cannot rely on the order of these digits, or I don't want to. And we need to map them. So mapping one way would be looking at how do I reference this? Yeah. So this the letter map. Burp, burp, burp. We'll just map it like this, and that should give us the right ladder. So that maps to those. And if I switch it, it won't be able to switch back. But let's do one at a time. So if I now change the dataset control to be the letter, right? Then switching back will be a problem. Because now when we're switching back, it won't map. But the reverse is index off. That should be the reverse of the original mapping. We do this, it should map correctly back to 1 through 0. And we can do this via letter mode here. And the text can be the same as the dataset, right? So let's do that here. If we are in letter mode, then we do this. So if we're in letter mode, we need to do the reverse mapping. The problem is this relies on knowing what the previous mode, that it's different from the previous mode, which it should be, but preferably I don't rely on that. So if I do this, will that always be correct? No. No, 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 no. Wait a second. At next val. Oh. What if I do this? This feels so dodgy. All right, and now if I press this, it sends an H, but doesn't process it correctly. Why is that so? Because in handle button, we have this check here. And if I add A through J, so if I do this, press A, nope, press 1, okay, press A. All right, so here 1 is, yeah, okay. But let's say go here, or center mark maybe, B. All right, and toggle 2, 2, 2, B, 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 toggle, all right. Okay. Okay, that actually works pretty well. So now that should mean that we don't need any of this anymore. Which is what I should have done in the first place, because having that code in there always bugged me a little. Yeah, so that always works now. So now the question is, the keyboard handling here, should it be... Well, yeah, so that's our code here, what we want to change, right? So we're in letter mode. We have a letter index. If it's not equal to -1, so now basically if I'm saying we're pressing 1 or A. 1 A 1 A C V. That's a problem. So when we're leaving the tool, we need to clean up after ourselves. Handle toggle. I just have to hope that we're hooking the tool leaving code properly. Because we have a tool enter handler, but I don't see a tool leave handler. So if I go here and I press V, toggle V, disable. So on disable, and let me add another tool, enable. So on enable, we should kind of want to restore all of this. And on disable, we should want to remove it. Are we duplicating stuff here? Input letter digit controls made. Controls. Dot class list controls. If I replace these, it's starting to look similar to what we've got down there. Letter mode, letter mode. So these 3 lines are the same. These 4 lines are... Alright, so it's based on whatever the letter mode is, right? So these 3 lines are the same. And I'm guessing they'd be the same here as well. Right? Then we're grabbing the button. Here we're removing it. That's the other thing we're doing. Alright. Alright, so we'll just do show and hide, right? So we'll do this. App.letterMode equals letterMode. LetterMode comes out of there. Right, and then here we're just gonna do this dot show. Get rid of these 3 lines. We'll do the same thing here. This we might need somewhere else. I don't know. Doesn't look like it. All right. So now we do this, but we can also do this. Except we can't. Ooh. Because, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's exactly the thing we're trying to fix, right? Because once we've changed the labels on the buttons, the other tools can't find them anymore. That's kind of fucking hilarious. One of the problems I have is the height might happen too late. Because of when the events fire. So if we run hide, so if I do this, right, and I press this, tool enter handler fires before disable fires. Yeah, I don't think we want hide and show. We just want update. Because we're just going to read whatever the current toggle mode is and then do that accordingly. So then we're going to move that in here. And then update will update that here as well. All right, let's see. Do we put these into update controls? Controls main. Controls. Class list input letter. Remove. Interesting enough, when I press it, does it? Well, what the hell? Oh, okay, that's terrible. All right, there's definitely a few more issues. All right, let's first clean this up. So we have two things. We're toggling in and out of the mode, or we're toggling in and out of the tool. So I'm thinking, when we're toggling in and out of the tool, we also want to update all of this according to the letter mode, except we don't. So this is currently letter mode agnostic, right? So we want to pass the letter mode in. We're going to do this. We're going to call it update. And then here we're going to do it enable. And we're going to actually do framework.app.lettermode, right? Like that. Get rid of that. When in doubt, push responsibilities upwards. Right. If I go here now, right? Now this currently is not dependent on letter mode. It just toggles, which is not exactly what we want. So I have to be careful here now. We want to... So letter mode. If letter mode is true, we need... Letter mode is true, we need whatever this value is, right? That's always the correct value. Or is it? One second. If this is a number, if this is not a number, this will be -1 and we get this result, which gives us a number. If this is a number, we get the number. No, if this is not a number, we get the letter. So we probably want to reverse this, right? So either we get the number, then we know this is a letter and this gives us the number and we're good. Or now we know this is the number, then we can just return the number. And that should always get us the number no matter where we're at. And then I can just skip this for a sec. And go back to this, I think. Maybe not. But if I press this now, that doesn't work. J becomes J. That doesn't make sense. So we have text content, dataset control, letter index off, becomes -1, then the OR doesn't operate correctly. All right, let's do it the other way around then. So if we have a letter, no, if we have a digit, this is true and we get a letter. So then we basically want to do this. Or this is a letter. No, this is a digit. Or this is a letter. Then we want to do this. And that should always get us a digit now. So A111, A111. Yeah, now we just need to actually use this. So next val would be this. And then equals next val for now. It's a little messy. I should have thought about it a bit before starting to write code, but then it would be easy. That's cheating. So whatever I switch, that always gets me the next value. And now I can use letter mode to switch accordingly. So if letter mode is true, we want the letter. Otherwise, we want next val. So now it should switch, but the nice thing is it should always switch correctly. So this should now always be correct, and it should be entirely dependent on the letter mode value that we're passing in and nothing else. Let's just reduce the number of weird references we have all over the place. All right. Letter map. Okay. So next val. And that's not really next val, so next val is going to be actually this. And then this is just going to get assigned next val. And then this is not going to be next val, this is going to be just index. And I'll just make this a bit shorter so it all fits on one screen. So for each digit, we get the control value, we convert it to an index number. So either it fits, it indexes into the letter map correctly, then we return the control, or it returns an index value. Then we either map it to a letter or not, depending on letter mode, and then we assign it to both control and text content. And that should always get us the correct stuff. And now if I go here and press E, it gives me an E. If I type in an E, also gives me an E. If I type in a 1, it gives me 1. All right, so that's cleaner. It still does that correctly now? How does it do that correctly now? Does it update? It seems to update. Wait, it updates to undefined. Ooh, okay. So disable. We actually want to pass in false. Update false. Update false. Update false. Ah, great. So that basically just works now. Now, can we get rid of some of the other stuff? Because this now just updates, what does it update? It updates these buttons. It doesn't update the presence of the toggle button itself. That's done here and here, I believe. So button delete, we're just using that to slip it in. All right, so here we go. Before we're disabling it, we're running update. Now enable doesn't run update, but I guess toggle mode happens during that process somewhere. So I go here, tool, enter handler, and then enable. This enable or this disable. Ah, okay. All right, so that forces an enable or disable. Okay. So we've moved a little bit of intelligence in here, but nothing that's not directly related to the tool, so I don't actually worry about that at all. We've cleaned up stuff down there. And now we can get rid of, I think, this code. In fact, it's already gotten rid of. So that's actually better. And okay, that's the only concession we had to make. So this will pass it through. So the button handling now works. So basically the only change right now is that I can use letters directly. Now if I switch to here, my hotkeys come back basically. If I switch, if I press 1, I get a 1. If I press A, I get an A. Now some people might not like it because they might have been typing these in from the keypad. I don't know how to deal with those people. And of course the hotkeys. So that's curious. If I'm on V, right? Now if I press C twice, I get this. And if I press it again, it stays here like that. So that's a little odd. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. So letter mode, we don't touch letter mode at all here. Don't need any of this. So far the changes aren't actually too crazy. This we can ignore for now. I actually like this solution. It's elegant, if a little... It has potential for issues. Let's put it that way. But as a variation on the theme, I kind of like it. All right, so I'm kind of happy with this. I'd like to test this out. Let's just have a quick review what we've done. So in the tool itself, we cleaned up this updates to the buttons themselves, moved them into an update function, called that in multiple places to make sure things get cleaned up properly, right? Then we added this little handler. So we're gonna just say intercept. So we can intercept letter tools if we have a letter, if it's a tool, etc., etc. That should not fail if the letter tool is not included. And now I think we don't have a lot of references to the letter tool. In fact, that's the only one. Perfect. That's what we want. We got rid of this. Yeah, so we don't need that anymore. We're updating the buttons accordingly. That might cause problems with something else. I don't know. I don't know. But apparently not. It just passes through whatever we're pressing, right? And finally, we have That the README. I think we want to leave it out of this update. I think that there's a minor version update. Wow, 150. 150. The README we'll just leave it out for now, actually. I'm just gonna remove it. Can I delete the file from here? I think I'll just delete it, yeah. That should be a separate ad. More spammers. Why are people always so reluctant to give me links to puzzles? Do they disappear? They don't seem to be disappearing. The problem is I report them and they disappear and I can't interact with them anymore. But I don't think that actually removes it, so it's a little bit weird. Like, how do you report spam? The thing is just press report, but it doesn't tell you what it actually does. Does it actually remove it for others? I don't know. So now I have to kind of go into an incognito window just to look at the stream from the perspective. It doesn't tell you what it actually does from the perspective of another user, and they're still there. Oh man. So I can't remove them now because they're hidden to me. This is freaking ridiculous. I don't even see them in the chat anymore. So I guess I'll have to log in with another user account because anonymously I cannot remove them. Oh my god, this is really terrible. So how the hell do I... And if I remove them, I can't report them. If I remove them, I can't report them. Sorry about this. This is a bit of a mess. So, because I'm just looking at the stream from another user account just so I can see the spammers. Oh, and I can't pause the stream before the stream starts blaring out audio. All right. And can I see the chat, please? Yep, they're still there. So now, can I give myself opts? So it doesn't even show myself, my other account, as a participant in the stream. So the list here is just not up to date, is it? Well, let's see if I can update it. Oh, how is this so bad? I mean, YouTube and Google, you think know how to do this stuff by now. Can I get like... What's so slow? I don't know. Participants? Nope, I don't see myself there as a viewer. So I cannot opt myself. All right, it doesn't show up on the other window. Okay, now I've refreshed. All right, now wow, it just didn't update. All right, now these are back as well. I had already reported them. So I should now be able to hide these users, right? Okay. All right. So now I think I've been able to remove them. My God. Okay, that was terrible. All right, sorry about that. Let's just tidy up this feature. I think this is an interesting modification. I'll have to see how the testers like it though. So let's just give this a nice short description. Enable direct entry of letters. I think that should be it. It's also not easy to test because there aren't like an obvious puzzle that works with letters and stuff. So we have a feature for the import from of min-max. So I'm gonna have a look at that if I get a usable link. Yeah, I think I can do something with this one. Right. And that's encoded, so I need to decode it. Like that. And see if I can load it in. Wait. Like that. All right. So let's have a look at what the data looks like. Minimum, maximum. So I think those, when they get imported, get treated. They're just converted straight to arrows. And I believe, let me just have a quick look at something. I believe there's min-maxes from the CTC database that I can compare with, and I can just copy the visual style out from those. 1 second, I'm just gonna pull my giant screenshot thing. Assets, is it in here? It'll be a big file. Mega screenshotty thing. Puzzles. Thumbnails. Ugh. Let's have a quick look at these. It'll be hard to see because they're transparent. I thought I did a mega screenshot of all the puzzles. Is that a JPEG or a PNG? Let me see if I can find that quickly. It should be a very large image. Very, very large. I mean, I know I have the screenshots themselves. But there should be a mega image with all of them. I think if I sort by size, I might be able to just find a monster giant one. That's all stuff from the book. Maybe it would be a JPEG because it'd be too big otherwise. Here are the thumbnails, right? No. Let me look for JPEGs then. If that doesn't work, I guess I'll just have to bite the bullet and look at the thumbnails instead. No, that's all from the book. All right. I'm just going to look at these quickly. So we need one with min-max. Min-max. Unfortunately, I saved them on a transparent background. I probably should have saved them on a white background. Min max, min max. Might not be super easy to see. Where are you guys? Where are you? Let's see. Ah. No, that's a completely different thing. Oh, come on. There's got to be some. Let me know if you spot one. Let's see. So many puzzles. The min-max constraint is, I think, quite rare in the CTC dataset. Quite rare. But there definitely were a few instances, so it's more a question of, will I see them, will I spot them as they scroll by? You know what, I think I might be faster if I just focus on the left side of the screen if I do this. And look at fewer across. Nothing. 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 I wonder if I'd be better off looking at now I said hide and report. Let's see if that works better on that spammer. I wonder if I'd be better off searching for min-max on the YouTube channel. Because it might find me something more quickly. Oh. Do we have some? We do, but they look like they have been set as regular arrows. Let's have a look anyways. Yeah, they've been set as arrows. I'm pretty sure visually they've been different styles of these done in the past. I'll just have to find one of the pretty ones. It could be a whole bunch of fuffing about just to make the arrows neat, but that's just how it goes sometimes. There's just so many. I'll try to like just stare and then go more quickly. Maybe that'll increase my chance of finding one. I mean, I found one, but I know there were some done with the arrows without the body, which is the visual style that seems to be preferred by most people. I mean, they would have to hand draw each arrow part, so maybe they wouldn't do that. I'm not sure. I feel like I remember them being set like that. And it might have been just somebody spending a lot of time hand drawing them, or a puzzle which only had like one of them or something. Because there's the greater less V's. This is the same thing, so it's a bit strange. that there are different symbols that basically denote the same thing. So, yeah, this is this database. I need to organize it one day. I'd like to kind of index it by features, authors, all that sort of stuff. And right now, the vast majority of this database has no metadata, no authors, no setters, no titles, nothing. I can scrape quite a bit of it from YouTube, hopefully. So it definitely makes sense to go back and like clean it up and all that. And I'm really looking forward to that as a project one of these days. And I think that's going to provide a lot of value to people. But I have to have the right setup. I have to have a place to put everything. And I need to have a way for people to kind of get their stuff removed if they don't want it on there. I mean, this is all in YouTube videos, publicly accessible, so it's not exactly a secret. Anybody could do this. It's just a little easier because I have all the raw data. Okay. All right, okay, we're almost at the bottom. So, I can't believe this is definitely not the only puzzle with a min-max constraint in the CTC database. For sure not. So, I definitely missed some. But my eyes are burning just from like staring on this terrible color scheme of semi-transparent on dark gray. This is just awful. I should render a set of these without the transparency. This kind of looks like it could be. Let's just take a look. Let's just take a look. They also have arrowheads. Well, that's annoying. It's probably because the arrows are just one draw operation, while creating the manually from line segments is a whole bunch of extra fuffing about. Alright, well, we're almost done. So, if these are the examples, these are the examples. That's what I'll work with. There's a regular greater than. I haven't seen... The heck? Large arrows for the great... okay. Yeah, I stored these at fairly low resolution, so... It's not necessarily easy to see them in as a thumbnail. It was never meant to be used this way. Well, that's it. Alright, so these are the examples we have. Well... So... I don't even have a style to lean on. But what I can do is I can see what people hope they would look like. X, right? So they want these, and they don't want them between cells, between the caster cells. So what we're gonna do is have a look of where they get imported. Make sure... Did I not commit this? I did not commit this. Why did I not commit this? I could have sworn I committed this. Right? So we have minimum, maximum. Minimum, maximum. And maximum here. Now we are adding individual parts here. Part is not defined. It's supposed to be here. So, all this does is specify the actual cell. Okay, so fair enough. So if I go into setting mode, constraint tools, minimum, maximum. Cells with arrows facing inward must contain numbers less than orthogonal cells that don't contain minimum constraints. Also contain minimum. Click. So if a minimum is next to a maximum, so this is a minimum cell, right? So if I say constrain maximum and I put it here, Okay, if I hear... Okay, so it only cares about if it's the same as... It has no effect. Okay, all right. That shouldn't be too hard. So step 1, change this from arrows to those other symbols that we want to do. And I probably should do minimum maximum with the same code, because it's basically the same thing, just the arrows point the other way, right? All right, let's do minimum first. So if I comment this out, it just won't happen. We just won't have any minimums. All right. So it adds arrows. Now, instead of adding arrows, we can add lines. And the difference is arrows have the arrowheads, lines, we need to draw them ourselves. But how do I add them? Ah, just like that. All right. So thickness is just going to be a 1. Color is going to be a black. And the waypoints, R1, C1, R2, C1, C2, R. So what am I looking at here? We have a center. And then this is the start and the end of the arrow. So I'm just going to print these out. I guess that's the beginning and the end of each arrow. So 0.50, 0.30, column 1. 0, 0.50, 0.3. So 0.5, 0.3, 0.3, 0.5. 0.5 would be... Ah, so this is relative to center, right? Okay. So step 1, let's just draw lines instead of the arrows and see how that looks. Right? Okay. And now we basically need to rotate things a little bit. Yeah. So we want to draw a, what do you call it? A chiron? Chiron. And we want to roughly draw it. And we probably want to do a gray background thing as well. So let's also compare it to how it is currently. Just so we have a reference when we change things. Okay, so we don't have the gray background. We probably want to add the gray background too. And I probably want to get rid of this stuff. So I want to just do a Chiron. And I want to tell it which way to face, I guess. Or I can just hard code it, right? Because what we can replace this with is also the directions, right? And then we can multiply things in here. So this first point, yeah, let's just go from center to R1, C1. What does that look like? In fact, we don't want to go from center. We want to go from 0, 0. So -5. Okay, so these give us the directions. So we can use those as directions, and then we can just multiply them up and all that stuff, and then we can just add the center points back in. Okay. So our Chiron will have three legs, right? And let's see. I need something to scribble. I need a scribbling device. Draw pad. Sketch.io. Does that still work? All right. Nope. Control A, delete. Nope. Control A, delete. All right. So we have our center point and we have a direction, and then from that direction we want to draw a line from here to here and from here to here. But we probably want to start here, right? So to get to here, we're going to go off to the side. So if we're here, we want to go this way. If we're here, we're going to go this way. And if we're here, we're going to go this way. Then we go down, and then we draw this line. Down, draw this line, etc., right? So we need the deltas. So I'm gonna just convert them. So let delta x equals c math.sine c1 dy equals math. And I'm just gonna convert row column to xy for my sanity's sake, and then we can convert them back later. So now we have dx dy. Right? So now the first line will go plus so we're just gonna oh, my brain doesn't want to work. All right, let's just ignore the other two. All right, and we do the first one. It'd be nice if I could just do it in one calculation, to be honest, like angle and distance. Let's do from center 0. And it doesn't make sense to do that, right? I can just say, I just can say from center to dx dy. But dx dy would be reversed, obviously. So center is whatever, right? And I think our RC tool has some addition and so on and so forth, right? RC dot add AB. So if I do RC dot add center dx dy, nope, because that should be capitalized. Nope. Cannot convert undefined or null to an object. 742. What? RC add. Oh, because it... Oh, come on. It expects row column format. Do I not have vector adds here? To RC. Where is RC? It's not here. Where is that? So it doesn't do array addition. All right, I'm getting sidetracked. Forget it. We're just gonna do it the slow and hard way. Screw it. And dx/dy is gonna confuse me, isn't it? Yeah, but whatever. It will confuse me, but I will just have to deal with it. So the row column is what? Column is x, right? So we want to multiply this by 0.8. And that should get us from the center. No, 0.4. Just underneath the edge. Okay, and that can be the tip of our chiron. Right. But we don't actually want to go here. That's our tip. Before the tip, we want to go to the left flank. Right. So the left flank, and then after the left flank, we go to the tip. And the left flank needs to be rotated, right? So it's this point, but now we're adding plus 0.1 dx. Just do this. Except that only works in one direction because it's not neutral. And what if I do this? I'm trying to remember what all the different cases were. Okay. And if this is times 3 instead of times 4, that's actually not terrible. Then we go to the center, and then here, after the center, we go to the other side, which is just negative, right? And then we don't start from the center. Can I program by guessing or not? I definitely can. That's the right answer. I definitely can program by guessing. Now that's not the visual style we're looking for. The visual style we're looking for is a little shallower. So, and we gotta get much closer to the edge, right? So, let's just do this so everything is aligned and my brain doesn't yell at me. So instead of 0.4, we're gonna go 0.45, and instead of 0.1 here, we're gonna go 0.2. And then we probably have to figure out, okay, it's definitely too fat. They feel also too thick somehow. They're quite shallow, quite small. So maybe we'll stick with 0.1. We go to 0.45, and then we'll just make them less deep, right? And this would be then 0.4. And they would only be 5% of the depth of a cell. Yeah, that's not too bad. right? Visually, not too bad, not too bad, considering I think it's a slightly smaller scale. It looks a little strange. It looks more almost like a circle than these, but I'm not certain why. If I compare this to this, I mean, they're almost touching the thing. It's not too different. All right. Let's add the gray in. Let's add the gray in. I have to pop that out. Get a grabber here. A color grabber. All right. We'll do this. We want to add something else, like a box line overlays. That would be an underlay. Underlay. Like something like this, right? So we'll do an underlay. Background color is just this. We have our center. Rounded false, width height 1. Nope, don't reload this one. Reload this one. He doesn't like this one. Because I left those sitting around there. Okay. Doesn't seem quite as dark as this one. But I feel that they might be semi-transparent, so I think we have to pick up so many lines for that thing. And now the last step will be to get rid of the arrows where there's neighboring cells, etc., etc. Yada 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 yada. All right. Instead of center, I wish it was just C. Make these shorter. But they're okay. They are okay. So now we just gotta look at our neighbors. And we can probably change these to just be this, 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 and this. Get rid of these. And then instead of sign, we can just make this a... Well, we don't need the area of areas anymore. There's just one. And then this can just be dy dx. And we can get rid of all of this. Get rid of this, and it should still do the same thing. Now this can be easily one line. All right. Now, neighbors. We gotta look at our neighbors. Puzzles minimum maximum 4 part. IDX error. The thing is, we don't have an easy way of referencing them. So, what's in this array? We have cell references. So, get part center part. Get part center part. Get part center part. Okay, so we really just care about those. Part. Get part center. Get part center. Get part center, I'm guessing, looks at the cell value. The question is, if I don't have a cell value, if type of is a part cell, else offset RCF part. Because what I'm thinking is if I convert it to an array of these, I can index into it quite easily. If I've converted it into an array of arrays of the centers, I can't index into it anymore. So I guess I'll just have to do this kind of manually. Let min centers, min cells, min RCs equals dot map cell. So if I do this, right? And then the question is, can I convert the other thing into a thing? And you know what I mean? The thing and the thing. So we have a dy dx, we have a current center. So I can do center dy dx, and I can obviously combine them, right? So I can do center, so I can just do this, right? R center 0 math.floor center 0. So 0.5 becomes 0, we subtract 0, we add 1, and that's our thing, right? So we can then add dy and subtract 1. And we take the floor of that. And then for C, we kind of do the same thing. Except we'll do it with 1 and dx. And that should be our RC reference. Unless it's negative. But negative simply means we're looking at whatever. We're looking at the edges of the thing, right? And we should add 1 because we want to think these are 1 indexed. And we want to compare it to part dot cell. So in R whatever, R2C4, we want to look into R1C4, R2C5, R3C4, and R... Yeah, perfect, right? Let neighbor RC equal... Oh. Is that how you spell neighbor? I have no idea. And then we're gonna look at our min RCs. Min RCs equals index of neighbor RC. And see if that's present. So that means we don't have a neighbor in this direction. Okay. So then we can say if is not equal to -1, we just skip that one. We just don't draw that one, right? And it'll look like that. And that'll be these. Now, I'm just realizing I'm rendering them exactly the other way around. So these should be 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, and these should be 4 and 4. Ta-da! And I probably want to wrap the rendering up for min and max so that I only have to write the code once. Okay, so, and to do that, we will so the only difference is this 0.4 and this 0.5. I mean, I could just copy this over down to here. This is what I did originally, I think. Parse min max. And we want to have all of this. We want to pass in that. And we don't need F puzzles at all in max. Right, so we just pass in puzzle and cells. Right? And then we basically take this, stick it in there. We do cells.map. Cells is an array. And then cells blah blah blah. So then I can do this dot min max puzzle, and then this should be minimum. Minimum. I don't even need that anymore. Ooh, doesn't like it. First dot whatever. Okay. And then I can either I pass in all three measures, or just a flag, right? Inwards. True. And I should probably make these relative to something, right? So, let's just, oh my god, my brain. A equals, if inverse is true, then A is 0.45, else 0.4, and B equals the opposite. 445. So this would be A, B, A. This would be B, A, A. All right, and then I can just do this. Done here. Maximum. False, turn, and that should look similar to this one. And the edges, I'm not handling the edges well. So let's just print this one out. I'm guessing I can just look for negatives in there. Not really, because I can get larger than the total width as well. Do we have a concept of width and height of the puzzle here? I'm guessing we do. Grid size. What about the puzzle? Does that have the grid size embedded in it in a easy to read way? Cell size 50, cells, lines, regions. Nobody bothers about the frickin' size of the puzzle. fpuzzle.size. fpuzzle.size. Region shapes. fpuzzle.size. Oh dear. Do I really have to do a min-max calculation? Well, probably not. I can probably look at the grid. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass fpuzzle in here after all. Or ideally I don't. No, can I grab them from puzzle? Puzzle has what? Regions, it has cages, it has cells. So yeah, let min RC equals 1 1. Max RC equals puzzle.cells.length and puzzle.cells0.length. I think that'll work. If this isn't an array, if cells should be an array. I think we can safely assume every puzzle will have at least one row. That's gonna bite me in the ass one day, isn't it? I can see it now. One day, it's gonna bite me in the butt. All right. Hey, Jessica. So you're awake in my end of day sort of thing. All right. I've actually done some calculation with time zones to see when I can stream. On the weekend, I might try to do like some late night streams or something. What time is it for you now? So min RC, max RC, and then we can compare to these. So we can do neighbor RC. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into an array like that. Just so I have more flexibility with what I do with this, and then turn it back into an RC ref here. So that would be 0, and then we'll have C, and we'll just copy the whole thing. 1. We'll just do that, and we'll just also print this just in case. So, blah, 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 blah. So none of the neighbors, they'll go to 0. Some of them should go to 0, right? Yeah. So, if min RCs, if other RCs, let's not mix up our terminology here. All right, and if neighbor RC 0 is less than min RC 0, right, so we do this, or neighbor RC 1 is less than min RC 1, or greater than max RC. Greater than max RC. Or go to this. Now we got rid of this Chiron. I think I changed that one. Yeah, okay, so that should have only those 2 Chirons there. Is there anything else that's different? I think these are pretty... The gray is a little lighter. That's it. 8:49 a.m. Oh, okay. Coffee stream. When do you prefer to, or when is your chance to watch streams and stuff like that? Before work, after work, lunch break, during work? Because that's the other thing I want to avoid, is not like stream sometime when people can just pop in and have to get back to work and that kind of thing. Ranks was suggesting Sunday evening for me, which would be your Monday morning, I guess. My plan right now is to do at least one stream, one scheduled stream a week for the US audience, basically. I mean, I mostly stream to get myself into a working mood, so I can't just not stream in the mornings. I need to stream to get stuff done, right? Speaking of getting stuff done, this is actually looking pretty good. Pretty good. You can roll that, you can roll that. I think that works. Now, what I don't know is if I'm screwing something else up, right? This could be... I could be massively destroying something else somewhere. But... compared to this. Ah, I forgot that doesn't lay out the same way. This one is maybe a little bit too close to the edge. Maybe I'll bring them in just a tiny bit. The angle is actually pretty good, I think. I think they could be a bit steeper. Alright, let's bring them in like by 0.01. So if I make this 0.6 and 4.1 and then 4.6 like this, that's the wrong direction. So that'd be 4, and that'd be 3.9, and that'd be 4, and that'd be 3.9. I think that's better. Yeah, so... Oh, but here, even here, it's touching the fat lines, which I'm just avoiding. So I think... if I now do this, I should be able to do this without changing modes. Alright, that's good. Alright. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of that going around these days. Do you, because for me personally, like, evenings is... I'd like to, you know, have a meal and wind down and stuff, and if I keep working too late, then I don't sleep, and then I get tired, and then I don't get any work done for a week, and that's terrible. So I think I might prefer to get up early. Do you watch streams late at night, or... Because I know Ranks sometimes... He does all his puzzling quite late at night. Alright, I think this is actually getting pretty good. Let me just post a screenshot because I don't think Glam Hippo is actually in the... on the stream. He hasn't said anything. This is actually from our voted list. Now, I feel a bit bad because I've been kind of going off the voting rank. Oops. And I've been not really been scheduling things ahead of time like I said I would. So it's a little... I'm kind of exercising my veto powers. But this isn't too bad if I compare. And I did this sort of dynamic arrowhead removal stuff. And it's all happening inside the decoder. So it doesn't affect the internals at all. So I should be able to just minify this quickly. So bring that in here. Do that. Switch back to the minified version. What we got? That looks good. I mean, we don't have a constraint for this, constraint checking or anything like that. All right, good to know, because let me where was this time? I was kind of looking at this earlier today. So you are US Pacific time. So I guess you're on this here. On this here column. And you said it's 8:49. So Wait, what? Oh, in the morning, right. So it's here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and 6 o'clock for me. So for it to be evening for you, I'd have to do a really early morning stream. I think the earliest I can realistically manage is maybe 7 or maybe 7:30. So that would be like 11 o'clock for you, I guess. 10:30 to 11. That's not too bad, I guess. So maybe once a week I do a really early start. Maybe not Monday if I do Sunday evening. So maybe if I do Sunday evenings, let's say 10 to midnight. So that would be noon till afternoon for you. Pacific is pretty far from my time zone, but you know, catering to some people. And then maybe I'll do once a week, I do a really early. Maybe can't do Wednesdays, maybe Thursdays. I could do an early morning stream, 7:30 on Thursdays. I mean, once I get into a rhythm, it might be all right. I'm not an early morning person. Yeah. All right. I can't really test this too much. I mean, this is a puzzle without a solution or anything like that. I'm gonna just bump the minor version, and I think that's all we need to do. We're at 051. Improved in/max styling for fpuzzles import. I mean, this only applies to fpuzzles import, but I guess that is my life now. So we've done the minimification. We got that. It renders it fine and dandy. All right. Let's just run some scripts and such. And we can put this into the completed pile. Now, there was something else related to this. Let's see. So I should now... Yeah, I can just say... this is version 1... Wait, no. Did I get the version wrong? Oh, no, it is 0.15. Okay. All right. So... And then the other one was... diagonals checking. Feature checking for Sudoku X diagonals. That's a 0149. And what did I do before? I did enable direct letter entry. I don't think I have that up here. Letter better error pages. Yeah, so that's not really on the feature list. It's not a new feature. Yeah, I'm just trying to do a few small fixes. Sometimes my brain won't let me do the work I need to do. So then I just start a stream and sit down and then just pick up whatever needs doing. And then I have a few productive hours, and it's much better than not having done anything at all. All right, so I think that's ready to publish. And then I can deploy it to here as well. And I can send a sample link. SudokuPad.add/. That doesn't look right. Yeah, that definitely doesn't copy everything all the time. And if I do a quick so-and-so here. So this went from Sudoku Lab to fpuzzles to CTC. All right. There's a channel I follow called Study with Tina, and that's exactly what she does. She has a 2-3 hour stream. She schedules them a couple of times a week. Where she has a job, but she wants to learn something, and while she's doing that, and it's literally, she's not showing her screen. It's literally her facing the camera, just, you know, she does the whole Pomodoro, so it's like 45 minutes or whatever, with some chill background music, and then she has a quick chit chat for 5-10 minutes for a break, and then another session, and then that's the stream. I wish I could watch them while I'm streaming, but obviously that would be counterproductive. But when I'm not streaming, I love watching stuff like that because it helps me to just buckle down and focus, and there's no talking and stuff. Well, I'm just jibber jabbering, but then it's not too distracting. All right, so now if I update this one, wait, this is not updating. This ain't right. This ain't right. Oh. I think it's, yeah, it's the caching. I need to figure something out there as well. I should... Can I? No, maybe I can do this. Puzzle tools. Puzzle zipper. Because I've been wanting to add version numbers to the things here. Like I could leave it like this, and then I could have it reload. I mean, it would be twice as slow, basically. It could be a terrible idea. Can I just... What does that look like? Framework is not defined. Framework is not defined. So it needs to wait for framework to load. Yeah, so that's completely stupid, obviously. I'm an idiot, because the version is determined in the file that I wouldn't have loaded yet. So to do this, I'd have to modify this file and add the versions into the things here. And I have to add that to the script. So I can put it in my backlog. It's not gonna make a huge difference, I think. Add version. And let's just say 0.157 to file to JS file loading inside Sudoku.html. Just a reminder to myself that might be a good idea to do. All right, so we've done a couple of small things that people have been wanting me to do. Any other easy? I mean, there's so many things I need to do, but some of them are bigger. There was something on the to-do list that's kind of important, which is some local storage analytics. Let's see if I can do something about that. It shouldn't be crazy difficult, right? So what I really want to do there, and for now, I'm gonna I'm just gonna let Simon know about letter mode change, so I don't forget, because I forget so quickly. So local storage. What information we want from local storage? I don't have some code sitting around here that I can reuse. No. All right. So local storage. And we want to look at the code I wrote to get the storage space from local storage, right? So I think this is one common way of doing it, right? Dot stringify local storage. And it gives you like a rough idea of local storage size, 1.8. So that's actually not a bad thing to do. I'd like to send this to analytics. Go analytics, send data. There's a way of sending data. We do it all the time at the games publisher I used to work, but it's all wrapped in a million different things. So send custom data to analytics custom dimension. Sending custom data, edit custom data. Application analytics measurement protocol, def guide, blah blah blah. And prepare JavaScript. So we can do something like, oh my. Okay, wait. Okay, so GA, right? Dimension value, some dimension value, dimension 6, dimension value set. Custom dimensions. Custom dimensions. Yeah, custom analytics tags. Custom dimensions. Now, besides custom dimensions, there's also another thing, another dimension of dimensions, if you know what I mean. By the way, Mark, if you're on the stream now, you might like what I did with the letter tool. Basically, what I did was, right now, if I type 1, it's a 1. If I type AWSD, it's cursors. And if I type C, it's changing tools. Right? Oh. Why does it... Oh, why does it do that? That doesn't make sense. Okay, I gotta figure out why it does that. But that's not the point. The point is that if you toggle it, now pressing AWS, well, WS still works, but A and D are now letter entries, while the numbers are still number entries. So the idea is when you're in toggled, you can both type in letters and numbers, but you cannot use the hotkeys anymore reliably. Now I might want to remove all the hotkeys so you don't get W and S still working, but A and D not working, right? But this is just a trial, you know, this is still in testing, and then I'll get feedback and see what people want to do. Let's find out why toggling a tool when you're not in letter mode. Now it doesn't do it anymore. Okay, that was weird. Now it does it when I'm nowhere yet, when I haven't started yet. Let me see if I can fix that quickly. Doesn't really hurt anything. All right, Mark, let me know when you're here. Hey, PG Bluster, how are you doing? Basically, what I did was an adjustment to the letter tool that if you're in letter mode, you can now type in the letters directly, but the numbers still work. And one nice side effect of that is there was that let me see, button handlers, key handlers, do button whatever, right? Do press, yeah. Remember, we made a change in here. I could get rid of it all completely now. So now I'm actually changing what's attached to the buttons when I'm toggling. Oops. So the data control now changes as I toggle. So as I'm toggling that, it goes from numbers to letters. And then it just passes it straight through here. And I just had to do a tiny little adjustment to let it pass through where there was some validation. In fact, I can show you the diff. The diff was actually quite contained. So I got rid of that code. I added letters to the regular expression here so it would pass through. And then I just added a little bit where it basically checks if the letter tool exists. If we're in letter mode and we're in the right tool, then and we're pressing a letter, then just pass the letter through. And then don't do anything else. And it basically cancels any kind of hotkey operation processing, right? And then on the letter tool, I cleaned up a few things because I think there was a problem when you changed to this tool when you were in letter mode. Because it was looking, because I changed the letters now, here it was looking for the digits on the letter. So I needed to change a few things. So now when you're switching away from it, it actually changes the buttons back first. So it makes it a little bit more robust here. So I added this little update thing. So now there seems to be a bug. If I'm not in letter mode, yeah, so it doesn't happen once I've been running. But here it happens, and I have no idea what exactly happens here. So I'm pressing C, which toggles the tool, and it doesn't just work on C, it works on X as well. And it triggers this switch. Now this switch... This switch, where does that come from? I'm thinking maybe it's the tool thing itself. Yeah, that's what's happening. So probably one of these handlers gets fired. Because I'm quote-unquote entering the tool, right? So maybe... Right. And if I manually change and then change back, it doesn't happen anymore. And I think what happens is that letter mode isn't initialized. This tool with letter app tool, this enable, this disable. I think that's what's happening. So if I go here, undefined, but if I change it, now I toggle, it's true, and if it's false, it's false. But when it's undefined, it toggles. But why does it toggle? Let's see. Oh, hey, Clam Hippo, how are you doing? I hope you're satisfied with the new look. I had a to-do item already for just changing the arrowhead style. And adding, like, cleaning up the sort of unneeded bits always seemed sort of frivolous to me because it doesn't mean anything, but I did it. Like, you see, that's what I need. If somebody wants a thing, I'm more likely to do it than if nobody wants a thing. Yeah, I'm live. Just gotta clean up something that I'm doing wrong with, I think this is a very small issue though. I think it's mostly almost visual. So I'm not too worried. I just want to clean it up because people are gonna say, "Oh, what's going on here?" All right, toggle. We want enable, and we want disable. I just want to know which of those happens when it happens. So if I press X, and if I press X again, this fires, enable fires, update fires. X, enable, update, X, enable, update, X, enable, update. So update fires with letter mode undefined. And then this toggles. And I think this is dependent on... Wait, so if I press X again, so A is large, which should not be... Yeah, now it's screwed up. A is large... Wait. A is large? What if I force it to false? That's it. So there's a difference between... There's a difference between undefined and false. And it's probably in these. Probably if I toggle it to undefined, yeah. Okay, so that's all we needed. All right, that's super simple. No worries. I can easily push that in. No, you're totally right, and it's for me as a programmer, like functional, it's the same. Like it's hard to convince my brain that it's important, but the whole point of my app is usability. So making it more usable should be the highest priority because that's kind of my thing. That's kind of the only real kind of major advantage I have from other apps. So I should really value that more, you know, and pay attention to that more. Especially when people request it. People wouldn't request some visual thing if it didn't matter. Fix letter mode toggle default. All right. So Mark just had another suggestion for a little improvement to the letter mode layout. I think, is that styling? Yeah, I think that's just styling. So let's see if we can do it in here. Find letter tool. So what did he change? I'm just gonna try to figure out. So he just made the font a bit smaller here, I guess. 1.7, 111, 1.7. So I guess the 9 is a bit smaller now. But both of them are a bit smaller. And then 204, and then 0 transform scale. Wait. Did he get rid of this at all? Or did he... I think he added those in. Padding point 4, so that's the same. Before after. A/A, 9/A. Alright, so I think he wants me to add these two after this. So then he scales the SVG of the delete. Do we need a scale for that though? Can't we just... Because I think that already defines the size of it. Tool. I see. Yeah, you see, you can't just do that because any other tool would fail potentially there as well. Except I did the same mistake here. In the future, when we add more tools, we're gonna... Yeah, we need to refactor the styling, so the styles get determined, set by the tools themselves. Thanks, Drozel. Instead of doing this, though, what if I just change the actual size of the SVG? So 0.8. So instead of 24, let's say. I mean, I guess the scale will be fine. Oop. Of course. So width 20, height 20, width 3 RAM. So 0.8 of 3 is 3. It's 3 divided by 10. 2.6. So that would be 2.6 RAM. I wonder if we could do it the opposite. Just only style that for color. Yeah, I think that looks weird. I think there's something strange in the neighborhood. And the scale is from the center, so it might just be... Yeah. I'm just gonna take it like this. Mark did all the work, figured out what looks good. Thanks, Mark. Perhaps add improved CSS for letter tool, make it look better. And he changed this to be smaller. I don't know if I want this to be smaller. But it looked a bit chunky before. Alright, well, hopefully that makes the letter tool easier to use. I don't know if in the future I want to be able to toggle using numbers to put in the letters. Another charge on my Visa. Alright, the folks are coming home soon, so I'm gonna tidy up the stream. We'll fix the thing. We're gonna bump patch that as well. So this is blah da 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 da. It's just a little visual update to letter. All right. Don't think I should start something new then. What was I going to? Oh yeah, no, not starting new, but I did want to look at sending dimensions to Google Analytics. So first of all, what is the GA code I'm sending? So we have this, right? Am I looking at the right one here? I'm not gonna do this on screen because I'm scared. So this is 06-1, all right. So then I want to go admin and service unavailable. No, service unavailable. What do you mean? What do you mean? Create a data layer variable. Enable custom dimensions, universal analytics tag. So we need to create custom dimensions. Custom alerts, schedule emails, custom channel grouping, custom dimensions. More settings, variable configuration. The variable configuration. So variables, click variables, Google Analytics settings, account settings, property setting, Google Analytics settings, variable. Enable a custom dimension universal analytics tag. Final set of pieces to enable custom and where do I find variables? Well, I don't see it here in admin. You'd think that's where it would be. Home admin, Fusion, discover admin. Using the letter O, ISOJ instead of J. Because O is not next in the alphabet. I don't know if we want to go wonky then, you know. I think that's a separate consideration. I think we should make the whole thing customizable then, and handle it that way instead of hard coding it. I think the hard coded thing should be structurally simple instead of some custom list of letters. You know what I mean? Because everybody will have their own favorite letters. You know, I want to type out Sven, so I want a V in there. You know, where will it end? Yeah, I think people would. I think OE would make sense. The question is, do I just want to ham-fisted it in there, and then we're stuck with some weird decision I'm making, or do we want to like, hey, yeah, all right. Let's have a quick look. So tool letter, right? Script.js. Let's have a quick look at the changes I did today, so we know where it's getting touched. Right, so the specific one I'm looking for is 3903. 3903. So for example, here I'm filtering by these. So let's filter, let's allow, because if control and control don't match. Because I'm using the control variable right now to differentiate these buttons from other buttons. And I'm starting to think I need to do two things. I need to tell it what kind of button it is, and then which digit it actually represents. So we probably want data control value or whatever, right? Because let's say, what's the data control of the delete button? It's delete, right? And then the value should be separate, and that might be the better change, and then we can do certain things much more easily. I don't even know, are these hard-coded? They're sort of hard-coded. So what if I change these to data value? Actually, yeah, what I really want to do is data control is value, and then data value is 1. So between control and the digit. So if I do this, right, I'll have to change a bunch of things, but that should make other things easier down the line. So now we obviously will have to update the tool. So here, not control will be changed, but value will be changed. So prev val. Prev val. Two V's in there. Right. And then this control used elsewhere. Button control 0. You see? Then we already have this problem. Button. Do we wait? This is not being used. It's not being used. Yeah, because we're not doing anything special to the 0 button there. So if I type in A now, it still works. All right, that doesn't work, obviously. So now, if control, if else if control equals value, And then we don't really need to care about the rest, right? And then we can say value, whoop. All right, so then we can look at this, and we probably want to look at control as well, just out of curiosity, but obviously we know it has the word value in there. So now, if I go here, press this value H, value 8. So now, if I do this, instead of this, then I no longer have that check in there, right? I can pass in whatever I want, and it should always work. And this should also work. So now we can get rid of that. So is that all we have to do? That doesn't feel right. Feels too easy. That works. Ah, that breaks. That breaks. Okay, so we're using control whatever somewhere to check on stuff. Digit dataset value, because we have a whole bunch of styles that are depending on this stuff. I think that's the problem. Control dash control. So data value. Value. I should not do this manually. I think that might be the trick. Okay. All right, not quite. The toggle letter tool. Find control dash control. Okay. Equals, whoops. Find equals 1. The value. Okay. 0. Are we matching for that? Anyway, data control, delete data controls, toggle letter. This, before after styling, is happening where exactly? 740. Okay, so it's right here. 740. Top bar, controls. Alright, the girlfriend and the dog are just about to walk in through the door. As my GPS tracking has told me. Where's the letter tool? 740. Controls. No. Wait. I'm an idiot. What I get for doing a blind search and replace. Data control. It's all data value. Control and data value full screen. I knew that was a bad idea. I should have done a regex for the numbers. And same with these. Alright, so these have been changed, these have been changed. Does that mean these are gonna work now? Alright, these aren't working. So tool replay itself does stuff without not using CSS here. Find dash control. No. Control. No. Oh, it has its own stylus sheet. We should. It's actually dash control. Is any of these not a thing? Okay, here I can replace them except for digits. So this I should do as well with the letter tool. I should have put it in a separate file. And that's maybe something I can still fix. So now these should all be good. All right. Because now I can put anything on the buttons that I want. And we can even I don't think I'll do it right away. Maybe I'll do it, I don't know. But it's basically using the letter map, right? So if I change this now to have an O in here, and then I toggle, and then I put in O, and J doesn't work anymore. Now, I could go a little bonkers, because now nothing is stopping me from just accepting any letter, right? Problem with that is that if people see that on video, they won't be able to do that on mobile, which is, I'm not sure if that's something I want to allow. It might push me down a slippery slope of incompatibility between mobile and the desktop version. But I can put it in for the test version and see what people say. So basically here, I'm currently looking at the letter map, right? But if I didn't look at the letter map and simply said, are we in a letter tool? Are you typing a letter? I mean, it would disable all hotkeys in the letter tool. And this is something we've discussed, but some people, well, they wouldn't be using the letter tool that way then, would they? No, they wouldn't have a choice at the moment. But I don't think having some what's the word? Some of the hotkeys work and some not is actually any better. I don't think so. So basically, if I do this, instead of doing these, we'll do let letter equals to uppercase, right? And then say if letter, if A through Z, if A through Z strictly matches, then just do letter. I mean, we've discussed this as a possibility, right? So if I done letter mode, and I can, you know, over T. Yeah. While we're at this disaster of an idea, you also mentioned we should oh, and before I go bonkers, make sure that, let's say, if somebody puts in, yeah, and symbols don't work right now. Okay. You mentioned we should have a maximum size for these, right? And I think I have something like that for the center marks, if I... No. So I think that we can handle in the renderer here. So pencil marks, val split, and then we'll just do dot slice 0, 9. Something happened to my keyboard. Did I press? Can I get my keyboard keys back? Yes, please. All right. Whew. So if I do this now, if I, whoop. So if I'm here in letter mode and press shift, it'll only ever do the first 9. And I'll do the same thing for candidates. This or if walt child element, this get child element. Hey guys. I'm just finishing off. Hey Poochie boy. All right, last 5 minutes. Replace 0, 10 val, text content 0, 10, string val. Val is an empty string. So this one here is gonna give us something like this, right? This is this guy, and if I put in, whoop. Yeah. Alright, definitely longer than 9. So here I can just do, I don't think we use val down here. And for rendered values, we actually want to update it. So val equals val dot slice 0, 9. So maximum 9 characters, right? Now the question is, do we want to do we want to let people know that it's cut? I don't know. It might be a bit weird. Good point. Good point. But if you're pressing a 10th digit, should it replace the last digit, for example? Or should it just do no space, right? I don't see any reason to limit it. I mean, it's only a rendering issue, right? It's a very arbitrary limit. Like you said, for example, you can't even decide 9 or 10. Should it be more than 10 on a puzzle that's larger than 10 by 10? I think it's more of a visual issue. By the way, why don't you use chat in the YouTube chat? It helps the engagement and all that. And I don't have to monitor so many different places. I think for now, I'm just going to do this quickly. I don't think... Where would it be more appropriate to do? I'm guessing here? No, not here. Pencil marks, clear, pencil marks, colors, given, value. Pencil marks aren't even... They're not even set here. Because I don't think it's trivial, actually, to limit that in a generic way without breaking something else. So, for example, toggle group cell contains prop set tool value. Prop set. So this goes through prop set. Toggle prop. Yeah, you see the toggle here doesn't... I'd have to hack something in that's not going to be generic. I don't see why it wouldn't. Maybe it doesn't. Looks like it's working. Looks like it's working. I think the prop system needs to be reworked a little bit because like maximum values and so on should be like a property on the property sort of thing, a meta property, and not be hard-coded as one of these things. Like, do we limit colors? I mean, colors are limited to 9, maybe 10 now in the future. Maybe I want to change that limit. I'm happy to limit the rendering because the rendering can just simply say, hey, you know, we just can't visually fit more than that. And I think it's one of those things I also would like to let it kind of sit out there for a bit and let people mess with it in the test version. Get some feedback, how people feel about it. These are 789, 456, 123, so these should be good. The letter map, I can test drive it with an O instead of a J. Now that all 26 letters are actually accepted. See how it goes. I think this warrants a minor update though, because this has quite some potential for breakage. Wait. Didn't I just bump minor? Didn't I just tell it to bump minor here? But it didn't bump it here. What the heck? Did I not save it? Alright. Let's just do this. So, script is version 152 and SudokuHTML is 152 as well. So, I don't even know what to label this. Accept 26 letters. In letter tool. I think that's the main change I've made actually. This was just in response to make it compatible with having an O there. Well, I made it compatible with having anything there. Yeah, I think this is worth testing out, if nothing else. So let me just deploy these. No, that's gotta be. Nope. Nope. It's gotta be here. All right. This was further than what I was planning to do, and I think no. Place a single A, then reload and put an A again. Now you have AA. I don't think it can do 2 A's. So you mean place a single A like that, then reload, and place an A, and then reload again? Is that what you meant? And then it's gone. Well, it would be, right? A, reload. I don't think it's saved yet. All right, restart. Yeah, it's fine. Toggle A. Wait for it to save. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Refresh. Got an A. Toggle. Go. A. You're right. Ah. Beep doop doop. Doop 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 doop. Going to lowercase. We need to uppercase it in the replay instruction set. Or we do it at a higher level. We do it after the replay instruction has been decoded, and then it gets passed through exec, I guess. And then from exec, it'll hit this stuff. Parse action. Parse. Yeah, but I don't want to do it there because not all tools use this function. This needs to happen at a lower level. Because any tool that doesn't run through puzzle.parseAction, which any kind of replay system won't necessarily, will then get the wrong information, right? So it either has to happen at a higher level or at a lower level. So it either happens in the cell itself, so the cell, whatever comes in, always converts it to an uppercase letter, and then there's no conflict. Or it happens at the lower level, so wherever the data gets decoded, because the reason it only happens during restart and not during play itself is because the data doesn't get badly decoded or encoded in the temporary storage that it uses during play. So it's only when it gets serialized, right? So if it only happens during serialization, it should only get fixed during deserialization. So REX. Is there a generic way of doing this here? D-A-D-D-C-T. Okay. Yeah, but like I said, it's a problem to do it in that fix. I think I might want to do it at the lower level for now. Ideally, it happens in the decoder, because the decoder is what introduces the problem in the first place, right? The encoder. Because if I look at... here... they are lowercased. Wait a second. Restart. Bring. A. Uppercase. Yeah, so here it's handled uppercase. So either I lowercase it right away, or parse act A. Where's that being used? So it's used internally a lot, right? This is all intern. No, it is used externally as well. Act string. Let me try what it looks like if I fix it at the highest level, right? At the renderer. Because it's not just the renderer, it's storing the values as well, right? So not the renderer, the cell itself, right? So if I say prop set toggle prop val, center val, toggle set given set value, toggle prop set, prop get, prop contains. So if I do here something like val equals val dot to lowercase, and internally I only handle lowercasing wherever val is being handled, prop to lowercase, val toggle prop, area is area val, bridge toggle prop, And toggle prop set contains blah 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 blah. So if I do it this way, right? So now if I A, and if I refresh and I do this A, so that would fix it. It just means that internal the information is a little wonky, except maybe it isn't. One sec. So now it will have been converted already. So let's say we go here, put in an A. No, it won't have been converted because it goes into the thing before it gets pulled into the thing. Oh man, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. The alternative would be to lowercase it on entry. To press digit. Pull to action arc digit. If I do digit equals digit dot to lowercase, and now I do this toggle A H refresh toggle A. All right, and here, do we have anything mixed? Now it's all lowercase. That's the other way of doing it. I think I'll leave it like this for now. But especially if I ever want to switch to acknowledging like random Unicode characters and so on, that might cause additional problems. So, all right, I really got to go now. So let's bump a patch here. And push out the door. Fix case in letter 2. All right, I need to deploy that. And we probably want to deploy it. Actually, close this. We want to deploy this guy. I don't want to remove the lowercase in there because it's a low-level data format and it's internally, you know, base64 encoding. It URL, you know, it does all sorts of things. So I cannot rely that I can push a capital A in there, right? But like I said, I need to refactor all that. And by the way, if you keep chatting with me while I'm streaming in a chat outside of the stream, then the stream won't make any sense to people who watch it after the fact. I just need to refactor the encoding, decoding of the data itself, and then have a clean API that doesn't spit out different data that it gets fed. And I think that I want to do as a separate thing. But like this, at least it'll work. Because in the future, maybe we need upper and lowercase. Maybe the next feature request people have is like, I want to be able to type in upper and lowercase characters, you know? So that's kind of neither here nor there. So, oh no. Why? I hate when it freaking tells me I have unsaved changes. What's unsaved? Nothing's unsaved. If I save the file, nothing changes. There's no unsaved changes. You're lying to me. All right, I didn't get, unfortunately, to adding this. So basically I need to add a dimension. I'd like to say, let's say, in hundreds of kilobytes or tens of, like, how many kilobytes does a user have? And then I can, on average, know, I can get some analytics. Hey, how much storage do people have in their local storage? How much free space they have, etc., etc. For another day, I gotta get going, gotta take care of the Poochie boy, who is having fun cleaning himself. Thanks for hanging out. Was a bit of a odd start to the stream where I kind of screwed up, and that hopefully will never be seen. I was streaming the wrong screen for 20 minutes. In the meantime, hope you enjoyed the stream or you got something out of it. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, patreon.svencodes.com for my Patreon. I appreciate support. I appreciate any help I can get with my chair's broken, so I need to fix my chair. I still haven't moved servers, so I'm currently paying for 2 servers. I pay for a whole bunch of extra things, and I'm not earning enough to pay. Well, I am. No, I'm not earning enough. I'm paying out of my own pocket, which is all right. But ultimately, I'd like to have this whole thing sustain itself. So any Patreons, highly appreciate it, and it will encourage me to add features that you guys might enjoy and actually be worth the money. I'm keenly awaiting the 20th Patreon, and then I'll start a setter tier with some more exclusive features for setters, where they can publish their puzzles more easily and work on those kind of tooling. In the meantime, hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.